Okay, we'll get started. Thank you everyone for coming. We'll do quick introductions and a quick code of conduct. We do have some basic ground rules. Please be respectful. Please speak to the issue. Don't please speak directly at people. And if there is a disruption, people are given one warning by the presiding officer, and then on the second one they'll be asked to leave the meeting. Other than that, my name is David Lynn. I live on 81st and Holiday. I'm the chair of the Neighborhood Association, and it's been a big month of events recently.
And I'm Amanda Rhodes. I'm the vice chair and the land use and transportation chair of the board. I'm at 80th and Yamhill.
My name is John Rutter. I'm the public safety chair, and I live on 81st North.
I'm Pat Sanders. I'm an at-large board member, and I live at 80th and Mason.
I'm Bill Glenn, 126 Northeast 86.
Hello, my name is Evan Wellington. I missed the introduction spiel that we're giving, so what is the description for the intros here?
Name, where you're from, and what's your interest in this tonight?
Oh, gotcha.
In general.
So I live at Milepost 5. I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm here in part to represent the Milepost 5 Tenants Association as well.
My name is Ethan. I'm actually here from the Irvington Neighborhood Association, and here in solidarity with some other attendees.
Sounds weird.
I don't think there's too many people. I think you guys want to skip the microphone.
Yeah.
I think if it gets in front of the speakers, it gets very confused.
My name is Keith Dillon. I'm a resident of Milepost 5. I'm with the Tenants Association. You know what's going on. Find out what's going on.
My name is Bob Leach. I am a resident at Milepost 5, member of the Milepost 5 Tenants Association. I'd like to consider myself now a member of the Montebella Neighborhood Association. I'm a member of the Montebella Food Co-op, grandfather with a beloved granddaughter in this neighborhood, and a member of this neighborhood for the last 7 years.
Further along the back. Like to go on, Lee?
Dan Ray. I live on 83rd and Gleason, right behind Burgerville. Francis Havoc and the Committee Development Partners.
I'm Julie. I'm the manager at Milepost 5.
First of all, we'll 78 for start.
I'm Adrian. I live at Milepost 5 as well.
James Culberson. I live at 80th and 81st Road.
Thank you very much for coming. Welcome everyone. Thanks for making it out. I know it's hot. We will try to make it quick. So, just opening up the schedule. Just like the main discussion we have tonight is the discussion of the community development partners about the recent purchase of Milepost 5. And then we will have some updates and we will have time for comments. If presenters would like to go ahead.
And as you're coming up,
do you want us to be on a certain spot?
It's up to you, whatever you feel most comfortable with or whatever makes your presentation.
we're kind of oriented to the front. It might be better. We've got a camera.
And if you'd like, we have a lectern.
Yes, the left turn.
Yes?
No left turn. No left turn. Thank you.
And we've got maybe 25 minutes to a half hour, so I thought maybe like 10 minutes for you friends to talk about the project, and then we have, I'm sure, a lot of questions.
Sure. Again, my name is France, and I'm from Community
development partners. So just, I guess I just wanted to briefly describe community development partners first. We are a affordable housing developer that started in California in 2011, and we've been in Oregon for about 3 years now. And we started in Oregon. We started with a renovation of Fairhaven's Garden in Salem, and so that was about a 60-unit affordable housing renovation. And then we're also almost complete with another renovation project in Corvallis, Albany area. It's about three different sites there. So our organization, so besides acquiring the properties, we also have an asset side. So when we develop the property, we also bring in a third party. So besides owning it, we also bring in a third-party property manager. So we're in it for the long haul. We don't purchase and sell it back. So we work closely with the property manager and to try to understand the market, the specific market that the project is in, and make sure that the quality of the building that they're maintained and that they last for a long period of time. Do you have anything that you see? Well, and then just a few things. So I just background on myself. So I started at CDP since February. So I'm fairly new. But like I said, the organization itself in Oregon has been around for about 3 years.
I have anything else to add about the project, but I've been at the building for 4 years, so I worked for the previous owner, which most of the people here know, but I'm sure there's a few who don't live with the building. And I guess we're just happy to answer whatever questions you have, if we can.
And so let me kind of just, I guess, give you a description of our scope for Milepost 5. So, well, first of all, so we went through a funding exercise with application through Oregon Housing and Community Services, OHCS, for 4% tax credits. And we're also using historic tax credits to fund both the acquisition and renovation of this project. So those are basically the two sources looking at. And our intent as far as the renovation scope is, with the historic tax credits, we're pretty limited on what we can do on the exterior. We're going to repair the brick. We're going to, where it's needed, we'll repair the windows. Where needs to be replaced. We'll do some upgrades in the interior. So the lighting, we'll switch to LEDs. The plumbing fixtures, more energy conservation focused. Also the common kitchens will be upgrading those to on the cabinets and appliances. And then I think some of the bathrooms that use products will include that as well. So there's 95 residential units, and so I'm not sure if everyone knows that there's, besides the residential units, there's also a mixture of common use spaces. So we have a couple of galleries, a workshop, a dining hall. I guess we're calling it kind of a chapel theater area.
We might know it as the cafe if anyone ever went there.
And of course the office, on-site office manager is there as well. And we have a full-time property manager on site.
Did you say kitchens? Oh, okay. I was like listing them off in my head.
So the so the rents, so let me go back. So the relocation, so obviously there's the scope of work right now. We estimate that it could be about a week to do some of the interior work, and that's for the kind of the full extent of the biggest scope of work. And so as we kind of work through the scope in further detail, so we have a general contractor on board that's working with us to refine the scope, and we have an architect also on board that's helping us with all this. So as time goes on, we're continuing to refine the scope. So at this point right now, we're looking at, we're thinking about a week would be the most that we would have to, if there's a relocation requirement.
And that would be people just transferring to a different unit in the building, and movers would move the belongings and things like that.
Right. And so we are, CDP is not an expert in tenant relocation, so we did bring in a tenant relocation consultant to help us facilitate this process. And I believe we've already had a tenants.
Mostly all the tenants were here were, maybe that was one person who wasn't at the meeting, but I think everyone was there.
So the structure, the relocation structure right now is so, and things are, we're still refining the relocation plan with, as I understand it, there could be 10 to 12 permanent relocations right now. And let me go step back. So the rents, right, the affordability of this project is set at the 60% average median income. And so that would be, so rents for the LHTC would be, for 2018, this is based on Oklahoma County. For SROs, that is at $640.
LIT,
I'm sorry,
SRO.
low income housing tax credits.
And single room occupancy.
Right, thank you.
What was the rent that you said?
60% average median income. So that would be approximately $48,000 a year.
Oh, you mean the regular?
For the salary, for the salary.
Oh, no, 34,200.
But it's a single room, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, what you just said there.
Well, so I'm sorry, so the 48,000 is the AMI for a, I want to say, three-person household.
So you're making it an official affordable housing development, and you want to make all the units affordable to people who make 60% of what the median family income is for Portland, and there are different figures based on the household size.
Correct. And so 60% is the maximum. And so the rent for that level for the 2018 LA low income housing tax credit plans. So for SROs would be $641. One bedroom is $855. I'm sorry, studio is $855. One bedroom is $916, and two bedroom is $1,099.
However, that doesn't mean people who already live there will experience that rent amount, because more often than not, that's more than what people are presently paying. So.
Right, I just wanted to give you kind of a baseline of what that 60% is according to.
What about people who are paying more than that?
What's that?
What about people who are paying more than that?
So they have to meet the eligibility requirements. And so if they do not meet those requirements, and they have to go through a certification process.
Did you ask if people who make more than that are people who are paying more than?
and are in the
There's no one who's paying more than those amounts right now.
$916.
For a 2-room plus bathroom unit?
I heard 2 bedrooms.
No, that's $1,099.
The 1-bedroom is 916. But
But again, I'm paying more than $916 for 2 bed. Say it again.
Yeah, yours is a 2-bedroom.
So
The
2-bedroom is-
maximum is $1,099.
so it's 1,099. But that's, again, that's, so, you know, we certainly don't want to work, we certainly want to work with existing tenants. So we are looking at, we're revising the rent that we're going to assign to those units. So that's still kind of in the process. Right now, we're looking at, for an SRO, so again, SRO with the LI, the low-income housing tax credit rate, it's at $641. When we understand there's a few folks, maybe a handful of folks that are with a rent that's $325 paying for those SROs, so we're looking at that. I mean, we understand that there's.
I have a question. You're saying that the CUP is in it for the long haul, then why raise the rents if you could just accrue that money over time anyways?
Well, so it does take time, and right, we have it, I have it, I guess I do. So we have, so it's also, so the funds that we've applied for goes towards acquisition, and then also the rehab of the building. And so there's the cost associated with all that. And so part of the balance, I guess, that we're looking at is how can we afford to make these repairs and upgrades to the building. And part of that is to look at the rent structure and look at the expenses as well. So it's not just income, it's also the expenses part of the whole equation. So right now, like I said, we're kind of just trying to figure out the best combination that will try to meet everybody's goals.
What about the studios? Does anybody have it tonight?
The work studios, those will still be there, yeah.
When you say rent on it? Or those, is there a rent?
We're not, we don't have to go by the guidelines since they're not residential, but there's still, I mean, the market will only allow so much. They're a luxury for most people, so they're still, they're not required to be affordable housing because they're not housing, but I don't think that you'll see them like skyrocket or anything like that.
About facilitators, have we moved into a question time, or I didn't want to?
It seems that way.
Yeah, I was gonna check with you.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Want to make
I
sure
know
that
you
you
don't
have
have a
all
lot
the
of
times to get to
time,
all the
so,
details you
yeah.
wanted to get to.
Yeah.
No, and this is great, this is great.
Okay, go ahead, if you'd like to take questions. Go ahead.
Well, see, I was, the reason I'm here, I guess, is I understand that plans are in flux, and this is a big project. I am familiar with some of the terrain. I hold a master's in accounting, so it's not like, you know, what I hear makes sense. And in the meeting, the presentation that you held a few months ago when the news was, you know, the press release happened that the purchase was happening, I announced to the room that I had an implicit bias that you would probably, you know, be making efforts to, you know, mitigate the displacement as best you could. And at that time, you know, I was going on the news reports on State of Wonder, I think it was, where it said that you know, they were intending to keep rents where they were, and, you know, the quote here was by Dan Steffi, who is heading up the project. And so now, this more recent news, I think it was the 11th of this month, that said that rent would be capped at $510. And so I went in to, do some fact checking because I would like to, would not want to lead to conclusions. And so I talked to Julian, and it sounded like it wasn't things were in flux, but a $510 rent increase for a single occupancy studio. There's two ways I can look at that. I'll limit it to two ways that I can look at that. That's a 20% rent increase, which has a lot of implications that I'm not going to open that can of worms at this point. The other one is that the other building, one of the other properties you bought in town, because that prompted me to look at options, because maybe I can do better than that as someone who does qualify to stay. And I found a list of things that look fairly like pretty good options. So one of those options was Fremont Apartments that you purchased. It said that it was run, one of your ads, one of your managers has an ad in Craigslist, and they're below $1,000, and the square footage is more than two of my studios. So I'm looking, well, maybe I can buy two studios. Maybe I can rent those. Maybe I'll just give up my art studio and try to figure something out. Two single occupancy studios at Milepost 5 at $510 is less than 400 square feet and more than $1,000. 510 times 2, simple math. I could go over to, I don't know, Fremont Apartments, right, that CDP is also owned. And this isn't me doing research because I want to find a got-you moment or anything like that. This is me looking at my options in the Portland rental market. And one of your rooms, that's a studio in Northwest Portland, is advertised in the Fremont Apartments as studio apartments less than $1,000. I didn't write down square footage, but it seems to me like it was right about 400 square feet. Roughly, and I understand that they generalize now, advertisements, and there's variation in floor plans and the scale of rent. But I found that was very striking.
Yeah, and I guess I'm fairly embarrassed to not know that project.
I don't know it either. Was it Pinnacle or CDP?
Well, maybe it's Pinnacle.
Yeah, so Pinnacle is our third-party property manager.
Yeah, well, your third-party property manager, which I understand that's not you.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that's set
it's
by...
a mistake I made, but I mean, I'm still saying, is that affordable housing? Affordable housing gives me a 20% rent increase.
Pinnacle doesn't exclusively do affordable housing. Was that one being marketed as affordable housing, or could that have been?
No, it wasn't. I mean, that's what I wonder. It's like, well, is it not affordable housing if it's affordable?
Pinnacle does both. So if it was on their website, it could have been either or.
Yeah, and I think, that's not necessarily a moot point, but it adds a little perspective. I mean, if it is affordable housing, it's a better deal. If it's not affordable housing, it's still a better deal. And it's less than a 20% raise increase. 20% rent increase for me, which has its implications with the relocation.
Yeah, and I don't know the specifics of the financing on that project.
So the script that I got here was like, are you planning to keep rent the same? But I want to put this in a real world context of me looking at the market and examining my options. And the intention of the question, I still want to live up to the spirit of this question. They said they weren't going to raise rent a whole lot a couple months ago, and now I'm looking at a 20% rent increase.
Yeah.
$510 for less than 200 square feet.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. I was not planning on really worrying about it, but if I pay attention to the news and then check the housing market, I have some real world questions for you, because that prevents me from being an active and productive artist. And I probably can find better deals that may or may not be affordable housing.
All right, I want to give her a chance to respond anymore, and then there are some other questions.
We have about 5 to 10 minutes left on discussion.
Sure, right, and, yeah, and, you know, it's just, I guess the only one comment I could, or response I have is, unfortunately, right now, with the structure that that we're looking at is, we've set things up with the 510 SROs, but again, you know, with we understand, you know, the existing rent is lower, and so we're trying to find a way. I mean, you know, whether through relocation assistance, or you know, seeing if there's another way that we can look at a pro forma where we adjust things incrementally rather than annually. And there's definitely things that we're trying to figure out. It's definitely taking more time than we anticipated to figure out. Yeah.
Did you see a question by the window?
Yes, I have a question, I also have some commentary. The question first, so a letter was sent to the CBP beer company by Legal Aid of Oregon, that's LASO, informing CBP that current tenancies of the building may continue regardless of whether they qualify for the LIHTC program, as long as CBP is willing to simply opt those households out of the program, leaving the rest within it. So would CBP consider this in order to mitigate disruption to milepost 5? And if not, are y'all just looking to garner as many tax credits as you can? That's my question. But then I have a comment after that. And the comment is this. I'm y'all's neighbor and also a member of this association, and I live at Milepost 5, and I was shocked and saddened at the meeting on July 10th because several of our honored citizens appeared to be discounted and also intimidated, and that hurt my heart. So I guess I'd like to answer some questions first, and then maybe a response to the trauma, actually, of that incident. It was very distressing. Have you answered?
Sure, and I apologize, I did not hear part of your question.
I heard it, but in what way did you feel people were intimidated during the meeting?
Well, the question was, because there are current people in the building that might not qualify, is your company willing to opt those families out? Because they could stay and just have the other folks covered by the LIHTC, these acronyms.
So basically, you don't need to get the tax credits for those units since they don't.
Right, and right now it's all, you know, still work in progress, but the way right now it's set up, all residential units are receiving the LIHTC in order to make this work. But I think
so y'all have already been covered by LIHTC?
Well, they're not covered currently, because we're still going through that process.
And so you're projecting in the future. What I'm saying is, why can't we keep all our neighbors?
I think we're going to try our best. And I apologize for the reaction that you've gotten during that presentation. Certainly that was not the intent.
What happened was the lady who was conducting it, she just kind of ran roughshod over several of our honored citizens. I mean, even some older people, and completely discounted what they were saying. And that was bad because we're like family over at Milepost 5.
Yeah, and I apologize for that.
Also, she gave us some information that wasn't right. And so that was strange and caused some anxiety. And certainly we don't want to instill anxiety in people in Milepost 5 because they'll just run from the hills and leave you without having to pay them anything when they leave.
Well, we certainly are going to come back to the tenants with the updated relocation plan. So you'll have an opportunity to hear the latest.
So y'all are considering keeping all the residents there then?
Well, we'd love for everybody to stay, for sure.
Okay, even those who do not qualify within that 60%?
Well, I think we're gonna have to look, yeah, I mean, certainly, I think like I said, there's, we'll look at the relocation plan and see how that fits in with our model.
Okay, I see 2 more questions on the
There's some left here.
There's so many questions. Trying to make them short, we go right here.
Just a tiny question, are you able to name the consultant you brought on to advise with Relo?
Sure, Darcy Benson.
And then,
DDV Consulting.
the question was, so you mentioned earlier when you're considering your financial options to maintain the property and keep it profitable for the company, that you look to increasing the rent as a way to cover the rehab costs and some of the ongoing upfront costs for taking over a new building. I was thinking about when a homeowner needs to make repairs on their building, they seek a lending institution. And so my question was, how does CDP factor in borrowing money, which would be repayable at an interest rate, versus making a long-term commitment and foisting that burden onto the tenants as a source of income instead of participants in the building?
So our structure right now is, including the tax credits, we also have a construction loan to get us through the construction period, because our tax credits don't really come into play until after. So we covered for that. But the overall budget, gosh, I wish I had a photographic memory. But the overall budget also requires us to have a permanent loan. So in addition to the construction loan that just covers us through construction, then once construction is completed, then we have the loan paid for, and that includes not just the construction but the acquisition. So we're balancing that out with the expenses that we have to pay on whatever the routine regular maintenance and then the income that comes in. So it's not really, at the end of the day, with all the requirements that the investors have from us to keep the tax credits, they're in it for 15, 30 years or however long the investors are in it. They have requirements of what our, debt coverage ratio is required to be. And so that's what we're trying to meet with this project. So we're not even really going above and beyond that requirement, because we're just trying to meet their requirements.
Just to follow up, investors, so there are people who are looking to CDP to get a return on their investment.
That's how the tax credit, so that's through the tax credits. So,
okay.
Right, so yeah, so not an investor like cool. It's through the tax credits, correct.
Okay, I'll try to be quick with this. I hope you could just give us a few more minutes to finish this topic, because it's very important to people. So, my first question has to do with the relocation monies, okay? Because at that July 10th meeting, Darcy Vincent represented very explicitly that CDP, as a result, and I don't quite understand this, but she did say explicitly, as a result of being able to sell the tax credits, CDP would not be required to comply with relocation. That was what she stated there, which was disturbing to many of us. Now it appears that there's been a lot of backpedaling on that in the media, however we want to frame it, doesn't matter. What is the position on relocation?
I want to state something first before she answers that question. The way that Darcy presented it in that meeting was that since the building was going to be 60 years of affordable housing, that was why we were exempt from the Portland relocation rules. So you can answer the question based on that.
Yeah, I disagree with the way she framed that. I believe it's closer to what I said, and maybe she misspoke. I just want to say that I don't want to get into a tit for tat thing. but go ahead, why don't you?
Well, sure, and that's correct as well. So the city of Portland, because of our 60% affordability period and providing affordable housing.
Can you just speak up, please? It's really hard to hear you.
Sure, I know it's hard to hear from back there as well. Well, let me step back. So our fund, the low-income housing tax credit that we're receiving,
Yeah.
the tax credits that we're receiving, the type of funds that we're receiving does not require us to go through a relocation. And then the city of Portland, our understanding at the time was because of the 60-year and the affordable nature of it, we were also exempt from, at least that was our understanding, exempt from providing relocation assistance. However, there was a lot of messaging that kind of came really quickly back and forth, and so, certainly we take the stance that we want people to stay, and so folks that are ineligible, we certainly are willing to provide the relocation assistance that's required, as with the intention of the Portland relocation ordinance. So yes, but we'd like to at least, I guess, acknowledge that yes, we.
So it sounds like what I hear you saying is that you don't, and again, I'm not trying to get also in the gotcha kind of thing. I really want to just get this clarified because as a state, there's a lot of anxiety
No,
here.
I believe it.
This is our home.
Yeah.
This is my granddaughter's home.
Yeah.
So are you saying that you're committed, or at the very least is your intention to follow through and give people the relocation monies that
If they want to move out, if they want to voluntarily move out.
At the level that would be required. Because my reading of the exemption has it that you're not eligible for that exemption unless you're already affordable.
Right.
Not that I'm no lawyer.
Right, and it's a little tricky because it's technically not an affordable structure right now, right? But I believe the previous owner's intent was to make that affordable.
Say that again?
The previous owners believe my understanding is their intent was to make that affordable. But they didn't go through the same process. They didn't go through the same process we went through, or we're going through right now.
I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But
No, I'm not
this is really
uncomfortable. I just
important,
want to make sure
And we're
that.
still not really getting clarity on.
Right, right.
Anything we're getting clarity on.
So it
Yeah,
sounds like
well,
the law is still in
Can I say
flux.
one thing?
There are two other people that have already.
And I just want to ask one follow-up, because this is also a very important question. Also, at the July 10th meeting, so, for example, some people in the building, before the building was sold, signed a new contract, new year contract, with no discussion or stipulation whatsoever, anything to do with income, anything to do with income. And then the building was sold. At that meeting, Darcy Vincent said very clearly and explicitly that anyone, in fact, in answer to this question, that anyone who did not now take part in the recertification process, because my feeling is that I have a contract. I did a contract with Beam, and your contract is then transferable, but there was nothing in my contract of any discussion of income. But Darcy's response is that anyone who does not take place, does not participate in the recertification process will be evicted within 90 days.
So, my understanding is if you have a lease and it's current, that's not going to change until whenever it ends. So if your lease ends in January.
May of 2009.
Right,
May of,
then that's,
19.
yeah, we're not going to change that.
Okay, but changing, I don't feel that people who have current contracts should even be required to be part of any type. I don't
Of
believe that I'm legally required. Tell me, what is the statute that legally requires me to allow you to take my information to be able to move forward with the purchase of tax credits that are to the advantage of your asset holders?
And I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know the specific, if there's any specific statutes, but I'm happy to look it up, and if there is one, I'm happy to share it. And I think
Last
it's,
two questions. My question is just more of a community one, and you may only be focused on the residential at this point, but I was just curious about the community spaces and whether or not they're part of the rehabilitation, the remodeling, and if those can be available for community rental, maybe for events and things like that. Sort of a nice community space in our neighborhood.
right, so the current scope for the community areas and common areas right now are pretty minimal, perhaps painting. So at the beginning of the process, we had an inspection done, and so we're targeting just the primary repair and renovation and life safety issues for the building. And as we look ahead, we're working with the property manager to identify what else needs to be upgraded, as time goes on. As far as community use, I wish Julie was still here because she's the property manager. My understanding is that's going to be available for residents for sure. How that plays with the community, honestly, I don't know, and I'll have to, Julie's the best person to talk to.
Evan, you want to go ahead?
So, to clarify a few things here, what Bob was alluding to, I never took it myself that Darcy was indicating that people would be evicted if they didn't provide financial information. I think what ruffled people's feathers was that Darcy indicated that they would preemptively be deemed ineligible for affordable income housing if they did not provide the information within the time limit that they wanted. They could still continue the present leases. But I thought, that is problematic because it's not necessary to go into that. One could let somebody's lease play out and ask for a certification before it ends, thereby initiating the process. So that was the problem I had with that. But to get on this relocation topic, let me clarify some things. Relocation assistance under the city ordinance does have this exemption for 60-year affordable housing. What has been the inconsistency here is that a lot of times when it's mentioned, CDP seems to have no recognition for the term before and after. Before the LHDC status and after. And all the current leases in place are prior to LHDC, right? All the current leases are technically market rate because they're not affordable housing. So anyone being displaced out of the current lease arrangements is, CDP is bound to relocation assistance in that case. And I've gone back and forth a little bit in the press with Rich on this, and we have a disagreement. But Rich has, conceded, and I don't picture it as a concession as much as a necessary abiding, but he has said since then that CDP is willing to pay relocation assistance for those that are ineligible for low-income housing. What I would like CDP to do, and what I'm asking of it now, is that it agree to comply with relocation assistance for anybody displaced from their current leases in any event, as it's written under the ordinance, that they are eligible for it. And that means anybody that's facing a rent increase of 10% or more, which they might, even under the affordable housing, and anybody that may be displaced because they don't qualify because they're a student for the affordable housing. So that's what I would like to ask of CDP, that it comply with the relocation ordinance as it's written in full for the current residents who are displaced under their current leases.
And yes, we certainly intend to comply with the ordinance, and because this is the first time, not just because this is the first time that our office has had to kind of navigate through this process. We're learning as we go along, as we kind of stumbled a little bit here and there. But yes, that our intent is to provide relocation assistance to those that are not eligible. And I believe, like you said, there's students in there as well. And those that just, I think we're looking at our budget and seeing, can we, let's see what we can do.
Okay, and I just want to say, there are internal documents from the CDP that show that the Portland Housing Bureau sent them letters about the exemption and what it meant for them. After that, CDP was called by the Mercury and questioned about the relocation ordinance and where it stands. After that, Legal Aid of Oregon sent CDP a letter asking about relo, and after that, Rich spoke with the Willamette Week and said it was the first time he'd heard of it. Now, I'm not saying that I have a problem with you, okay, but what I'm saying is that I have a problem with CDP saying that this is the first they've heard of anything at any point that they have said that when it comes to reloading the exemption.
I'm not sure if the first that we've heard of it is the first that we've had to navigate through the process itself.
Okay.
Like the two other projects we had, Salem, so that was just not a city of Portland, the Corvallis, Albany one was not a city of Portland. So this is the first where we're going through it, and like I said, kind of stumbling a little bit, but
No, I
certainly,
understand.
yeah.
I think CDP as a whole could have done better navigating, and trust me, I'm more angry for you if CDP hasn't briefed you properly on this as well. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there for the record.
But we certainly, like I said before, we certainly would like to follow the intent of the ordinance, the relocation, the City of Portland relocation ordinance. And, we understand the rent increase 10%, over 10% is a hardship for people. So believe me, I'm looking at all the options that we can make.
So it sounds like the answer is, as far as complying with reload in full or needing to see place under their current lease, the CDP is going to have to look at the budget side of it.
No, we'll pay the relocation fee. I think it's so I think there's a range for 2,900.
Yes, 2,900.
And then 31 for the next one, etc. So no, for folks that are wanting to terminate or leave, we're going to pay this relocation.
Right. I'm asking about the instance if they need displacement, again, as it's written under the ordinance, including rent increase of 10% or more, or anybody that's ineligible because they're students.
No, we're committed to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you.
Great, I'm sorry we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank France for coming out and talking to us. It sounds like a lot more conversation needs to happen. I want to thank you all for coming out, and I'm happy for MNA to have provided the space for a very brief conversation on some really important issues around this transition.
That being said, will you be providing more discussions at Milepost 5 in the near future?
Yeah, so I think our plan is to, kind of when we get to a point that we have enough information to share, we'll be having another tenant meeting to explain the process and what's happened as well.
Is there a projection on that, or are we waiting to see it to be implemented?
So I don't have a date.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a date.
Okay.
But I'm through Julie, I'm happy to share, just let her know that we have the plan to do that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sorry we couldn't get to everybody. We have to respect everyone's time here and keep our schedule. We're already like 15 minutes ahead or behind, depending on how we look at it. I want to say thank you very much for the guests, and thank you everyone for it sounds like a very difficult situation. We definitely look forward to hearing that there's a continuing ongoing discussion. And if there's more than the Montville Neighborhood Association can do for the tenants of Milepost 5, please let us know.
I appreciate that.
Great. And so we have updates just from officers and committee chairs. I'll just do some quick things. We had a wonderful booth at the Montville Street Fair, made all kinds of contacts. It was an incredibly hot day, but we pulled through, had a great time. Got to meet a lot of our partners that we work with in the neighborhood. Jazz Festival, which is coming up. And of course, our partner, the Business Association, had that. We also had a National Night Out event just this last weekend where we served over 100 hot dogs over at Montebello Park. That was a nice family-friendly event. We received some donations, got some people involved, so it was really fun. We'd love to do that again. Montebello Jazz Festival is coming up. Starts on the 18th. It is at the Portland Metro Arts, which is, I believe, on 89th and Stark. 91st and Stark, in that general area. So that starts next weekend. And then also on Sunday, there's an event up at the brand new Gateway Discovery Park, which is a walk through that neighborhood with a walk for refugees and immigrants, which is a lot of coalitions coming together to support immigrants and refugees in the community. I will be there. We also will be having a fundraiser at East Cleveland Pizza coming up. We don't have a date set. East Cleveland Pizza, I'm not sure if everybody's been there yet, but I think they're an amazing place and they do a lot of great fundraisers for people. So we're going to be on their schedule here soon, so keep an eye out. Other than that, that's all I have for the moment.
I just have a few more events coming up to push. We got all these emails and I love sharing them. So I'm the land use chair, so I'd be remiss if I didn't push Southeast Uplifts, bringing the ABCs of land use training to Southeast Portland. It only comes around every year or 2 years. They're breaking it into 2 sessions. They're providing dinner. The first one's August 20th. I don't remember the second one offhand, but if you want more information about that, let me know, Amanda at montebellocdx.org. Of course, we got the Jade Night Markets coming up this Saturday and next Saturday down at PCC in the Southeast. And those are awesome events. FYI, as of I think tomorrow, the 82nd Avenue Max elevator is closed for 14 weeks for rehabbing. 14 weeks. So that's going to be a big inconvenience for folks who need that. So try to get the word out to folks. And one more land use thing. So Guerrilla Development is Kevin Kavanaugh's organization. They've done some kind of artier developments around town, including the Fairhair Dumbbell, which you either love or hate, down by the Ringside Bridge. And they did the Zipper on Sandy. They're bringing another kind of small-scale development that's kind of like the Zipper with micro restaurants and outdoor seating on Gleason and 69. They're converting a little service station, and they are having an event September 27th at the site to kind of talk to the community about what they're proposing, and they're going to reserve a small or retail space for someone in the community, hopefully, to do something. Not necessarily food related, I think they're open to a variety of things, but they're hosting a little party on the 27th in discussion. And we'll push out more information about that. And then last but not least, Boys and Girls Aid is an organization that helps support foster families, and they're hosting 2 trainings, or just kind of intro sessions about what it means to be a foster parent. August 21st is at Tabor Space, at 6, these are both at 6 to 7, so August 21st at Tabor Space, and then September 6th at East Portland Community Center. So those are 2 unified trainings on that. Really a chair update, but I wanted to get those out before Tuesday.
I have a treasurer update. So as of today, which is only nominally different than July 31st, our checking account has $3,456.15, and in savings, 731 balance was $1,707.46. So the total of that is $5,164. And if you need more information about the activity up to the fiscal year of 6/30, email me at brad@montebello.dx.
No document.
Do you want to talk about the FEMA?
Yeah. Okay, so Cleanup is scheduled for September 29th at Monteville Baptist. It'll be from approximately 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock. And we're requesting and we're expecting donations. That's how we're going to continue. But we're going to be doing an effort to do some recycling of polystyrene type products. And also currently we're restricted to not taking construction material at the dump like you might otherwise think. I can throw away a bunch of rock wall or something. But so this has just got to be personal garbage and that kind of a thing. So everyone know where Monteville Baptist is. It's on 92nd near Main.
Yeah, I'm working on a safety forum at Outpost 5. It's taking a little bit longer than I expected, but yeah, it's still in the works. So I just want to give a heads up on that. And so there's been a number of cleanups that have been going on around the neighborhood, multi-use path with different groups in the neighborhood and Monteville Park. So I just want to give you guys a heads up about what's been going on over there. And yeah, any questions, feel free to email me at john.water@monteville.store. So talk to me.
You know, you were mentioned on a news report last night.
John was in the news.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. Then we are still behind, but I'd love to have some general comments from any of the members if they have anything to comment on. Yeah, I think that's just before the end of the meeting.
Maybe I can make one more sort of announcement of an event. This Saturday, August 18th, is the Community Cares Cleanup Day for Portland Public Schools. So I'm a parent at Vestal, so we'll be having our cleanup event from 9 to noon. Bridger is also in the neighborhood and some other schools. But it's a great day to come out, just help your community and school weeds and spread bark dust and just make the schools look really nice for the first day of school.
Anyone else?
Is that Portland Public wide?
Yeah, so not every single school is doing it that day, but most. But you can look on their website if you want to know a specific school.
Okay.
This is the first, it's been a while, but this is the first neighborhood association meeting that I've been to that's been like a normal meeting, so this feels really like cool for it not to be like a, no one's trying to fight anybody like they have.
Not yet, anyway.
Well, thank you very much.
It's been nice.
We'll certainly try to do our best.
Let's throw down now.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that would be it for the regular board meeting, for the regular general meeting. We will be having a board meeting right after this. Everybody is welcome to stay. We'll be voting on some resolutions in support of some things. And yeah, thank you very much for everyone for coming.
Thank you. And again, if you want to vote, oh, sorry, what?
I just missed it.
It's like, it's so funny.
And tonight we're open to not go till 9:30. Yes. Okay. I did mean to mention, okay, I guess approve the agenda. Does anyone have any objections to approving the agenda?
See, Ruben.
Can you mention the newsletter?
We will have, okay, we'll definitely add. Okay, that topic, can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda. Second.
Moves. Seconds. Am I still taking? Okay, all in favor of approving the agenda? Okay, I passed out past meeting minutes. Does anyone not have a copy? No. 2 pages. If anyone in the audience would like a copy of anything, please let us know. Great. Does anybody have any changes to the minutes?
Yeah, my name is misspelled.
How did I do that?
Well, everybody does it.
John O'Hue.
Don O'Hue.
Oh, so no A, O. Any other changes to the
I've been
minutes?
doing this since I was, 6 years old. So,
Hands down.
I'll go through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Just do a search and find.
Great. Well, I always thought my name was the simplest one. This wasn't filled out. All right. Any other objection or any other changes? No? I move we approve the July 9th meeting minutes. All in favor?
I'm abstaining because I wasn't there.
Okay. Actually, also, I provided this to the general meeting, but I want to go over just board vacancies still. We still have 6 openings. Jonathan's, of course, is still open. He
Did
has...
he officially resign?
Yeah, he's moved out of the neighborhood. I asked him again tonight to double check. He is still wanting to be involved and help us,
Sure.
in an unofficial capacity, which is certainly welcome. And as I've asked all the other board members to please find somebody or suggest somebody as a replacement, as a improvement to outreach. Does anybody else have anything on that topic?
No one wants to commit, man. I'm hassling people.
Yeah, I'm out with you, so.
I'm not.
Not just yet.
Okay, then on to discussions. Let's go right into the newsletter. Let's get that addressed first. We brought this up in the last outreach committee meeting about wanting to do one more newsletter. Pat had some great ideas. She has a lot of content.
I also wanted to, I was talking to David about an annual report, kind of pre-election annual report to summarize our year. And I was thinking that the newsletter would be a nice place for that, if we can keep it short enough. And then also we should mail it to all our members at least with the election notification, kind of hit 3 birds with 1 stone.
That's great.
Kind of notification just put in the newsletter because we have to say.
What? I think if we just make, I don't, I can double check. I can ask some stuff that they think, as long as we're mailing it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I can, it's worth double checking.
I'm almost certain that either our bylaws or the Southeast Update guidelines that put a form that the announcement has to take place. Great, well, yeah, and I could have, I suppose most of my stuff would be doing just summaries of the events, that a lot of the events we've done this year.
So we could aim for just right after Labor Day.
Right after Labor Day?
So we talked about it.
How long to 20 weeks now?
So right now it's the 13th. October 8th.
Calendar, which would be our meeting.
September 10th is our meeting.
And were you aiming this for a date to be done?
And
A target date?
So our election is on the 8th. So 30 days before that would be September 8th. So we would want to get it out prior to that.
So this is bulk mailing and will that process for that?
We don't have that many addresses, so I don't think it would be able to go bulk.
Sorry?
I don't think it would be able to go bulk. If we just, I mean, I don't
First
know. I'm not
class.
gonna support that.
But if we get it mailed, say by the Wednesday after Labor Day,
Yeah.
people should get it in the mailed out prior to the September.
We just have to have it mailed by the 8th, but obviously we would do it before that, right?
You can also make like a PDF copy, email it to people as well, so. there's that as well.
And if that is problematic, we can always do a postcard for the election.
And then I'll do some kind of history writing. Do we want to set a deadline for comment? David, how much time do you need?
But I would say at least the 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, maybe although that's pushing it through.
Really? It's in 2 weeks then?
So can we say 2 weeks from today, Monday the 27th?
Yes.
That's a preliminary target.
The annual report, does that need to get voted on and accepted?
Financials report?
No, just an annual report of the organization. It could include, we probably should include financials, but.
I don't think it's something that's voted on. It's a presentation.
Or an administrative task.
Yeah.
Okay, is that different from the minutes that David talked about? Or would that be included? Are there two separate things? Is there an annual report plus an article on the minutes?
Together.
Yeah. All right, great. So 27th, target for newsletter copy.
And that'll be good timing to promote the cleanup as well.
Does anyone want to take on the Southeast Cleanup Notes this month?
I'm happy to.
Is it the 21st? Yeah.
Carry the water for a while.
Keep it in inflammatory for a long time.
Will it be a calendar newsletter?
That would be,
Calendar of
Yeah.
upcoming events?
yeah. Yeah, definitely want to clean up the September meeting, the October meeting. And there's something else I'm forgetting in there. Maybe we might have our fundraiser later in September, so maybe we could put that in the newsletter.
And how's that?
And I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce, we have a kind of a guest here. I'm sorry, your name again?
Amy Botter, yeah.
From PCC Southeast.
Yeah, I'm the interim community relations manager. And the times were swapped on the city's website for board versus general. So here I am. I was kind of getting an overview of what's going on.
Sure. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming. Okay. All right. I think that's good for the newsletter. Do we have any more on bylaws?
So, we had that conversation 2 months ago and then I was gone. I haven't had a chance to meet again with Lucia and Amy together who were kind of talking through these issues with me. But Amy and I did talk and thought maybe, we didn't actually, out of our group discussion, we weren't necessarily saying, yes, we definitely need to increase the number. Yes, we definitely want to change how quorum is set. So we thought maybe more appropriate and in response to the last year's election committee recommendations would be to put together a board policy on elections that lives outside of our bylaws. That has a little more detail and fine-grained information about how we conduct our elections based on last year's experience. So I didn't do anything with that. I'm really excited about my mission, but I just haven't sat down to kind of synthesize everything. So the next item is to form an election committee, and I think maybe at this point that election committee could propose a board policy, or it could kind of percolate out of there in reviewing last year's, what they learned from last year, and then bring that back in September, or if we're feeling pushed, then maybe call for a quick hour meeting August 27th or later then, if we feel like we would need that to move forward with the election. how does that sound?
Yeah, well, I think the sooner the better. I think that we need to have a core board policies which include elections. And that should be in place before the previous meeting, September 10th, or whatever. So I think if we have solid board policies, then we don't have to worry so much about the bylaws. Bylaws are just kind of,
They're high level.
yeah, mechanical, do you want more or fewer board members? But
So
what I
yeah.
would like to see is kind of, if I could project a vision on this, is to make the organization bulletproof from the kind of attacks or conflicts that have happened over the last, say, year and a half. We have it right here, and it's over here.
Yeah, I think in interest of time, we will need to have something kind of finalized. Finalized plan for the next meeting to approve it.
I agree. I have another question regarding that. Now, because this is outside bylaws, we don't have to have any kind of membership governance or anything like that. Do we?
No. Only if we want to change what the bylaws say.
Okay.
I think a board policy.
Board policy, we could
without
sit
that
here, we
month
could
of
write out
draft.
board policy and vote on it, that would be it.
Okay, I just want to be
It would just be like that election thing, which was so terribly controversial, but the board decided to have those people meetings.
I just want to.
And this doesn't preclude the future board from re-examining things after this election or at any other point.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much I want to bring up this topic, but it came back up. Since earlier in the year, we've discussed bylaw changes about people who might need to be removed from membership. And of course, this comes up because of social media and how people can't seem to control themselves on it. But there were two people on social media groups who frequent our meetings occasionally, got into a disagreement, and one person implied they are the type of political group that they like to shoot. This, of course, got blown up, all kinds of social media stuff, but I didn't get into it, and I only want to discuss with the board situations like that in a policy or bylaw change or something other than me just making something up.
I think because there's over social media, and the person that it was targeted to, I brought that to our attention. Yeah, right. If they were bringing to our attention, then we could address it.
Well, so I guess my question is, if we had somebody bringing this to our attention now, I don't think there's anything to do with it. I don't think we have a procedure or bylaws to do anything in regards to that. And do we have, should we need to?
Right. We discussed removing someone, but that never got anywhere.
Yeah.
What if it was just limited to the exclusion from the meeting? Because that's really where, the problems are going to lie. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, having somebody's name on the rolls,
I don't think you can do that though, like, because they're a member, unless it's voted, unless the board votes on it. Right?
Well, again, we're in this limbo where we are a 501c3, which puts us in state law, but then we are also subject to seemingly public agency guidelines through Southeast Uplift and what used to be the Office of Municipal Involvement. So we have open meetings laws, and I think it's been determined that we can't have closed meetings, that we can't have like membership only meetings as a neighborhood association.
But
And so I
I guess I'm
think
talking about excluding a particular individual that's
Right, so
caused.
I think like the city of Portland has run into problems where they can't even keep a chronically problem person cannot be excluded from a public meeting. If it's a public meeting.
Okay, so that's where the rules of conduct come in.
So maybe, maybe there is nothing we can even put in our bylaws to exclude somebody. Do you have an opinion?
I mean, in this case, that individual is not a member of the Assembly Association and does not wear the boundaries. In general, I mean, I think you're right, we're a publicly, benefit corporation, that's what goes as in the 65. I mean, I don't think we can, I certainly don't think it would be appropriate to exclude somebody who is acting out on social media that has nothing to do with the association and isn't tied to the association at all. If it were our board, it might be fuzzier. If it were at a meeting, certainly we have a code of conduct and we are able to eject people based on that. I think that's what we're going to rely on. I think overreaching, I think it might be overreaching to try to do more.
I agree.
Maybe it falls into the category of expect the best, you know. Even some rowdy person, you know, you still hope that the process of communication can work things out.
Yeah.
And if there's any suggestion of say, harm, you know, then other things get into gear.
Well,
but, you know,
the office of, now, you're not called office, they're involved in it. But,
something other pretentious.
Yeah, but they've stated that there's a voluntary mediation, like program that they'll facilitate. So there's that avenue if there is something that both parties agree to.
Yeah. And I think there's a different level between, hey, I'm going to knock your teeth out if you say that to me again, versus, hey, I'm going to threaten you with a gun. I think this day and age, the level of gun threats has taken things up to a new level. Yeah, because if a person is threatening with a firearm, that's a much higher level that they could actually.
If you miss my mouth and hit my nose, my mom told me this. She says, she taught me how to break a guy's nose if they were beating up on him. And she said, be careful, because if you hit too hard, you'll kill him.
But you're talking,
So somebody's gonna go aim in the bad at you.
you're talking about an issue of public safety, which goes beyond the building.
It's true.
Right, and I mean, as you say, in this day and age, I think it warrants notifying the police.
And it's up to the individual that is being targeted or talked to or mentioned. I don't feel that we legally have like any standing on that.
I don't know about legal standing, but I mean, if it's someone that they should be tracking for the sake of public safety, I don't know why anyone who sees it would have to do it. But I don't see how we can reject someone who's not a member of the organization. There's no member to exclude.
It seems like it would have to be something reported that raises to the level that the police would be here to stop that person from.
They may just want to know about people who are making those kind of threats. They could be making them elsewhere.
Okay, well, I wanted to bring it up. I feel responsible. As long as I'm chair, I don't want to act like I'm not caring about something that could possibly happen. So, great. Thank you for your discussions on that. We can move on. The election committee.
We should have one.
We should have one. Let's have one. Why not?
How do you have it?
You appoint one. It's like an ad hoc. It's an advisory committee. It is not one of those board delegated authority.
No.
So it needs to be members of this organization.
There's no requirements in the
I
bylaws.
was thinking of Jonathan.
No, that's possible.
I would like tonight to vote on forming a committee, and then we can put a request out for volunteers. I'm not running again. I'm done in October, so I would like to volunteer to help kind of shepherd the board through this election. And Amy Rainey was on the committee last year and is restore it again. I got confirmation today. I have not checked in with Robin. I was talking to Chris a little bit. I think, it's not around, but, you know, we can ask both of them, and they gave above and beyond. I mean, the time they gave was extraordinary, so it hopefully will not be as onerous this year. But, what?
How many would be in the committee?
More the better.
Yeah, I don't think,
At least two.
at least two. We got
It sounds like
two.
you got at least three, maybe.
Do you want to chair this meeting?
I don't know if it even needs a chair.
It would be nice to,
Some of it's
just as
all-
the contact person and the coordinator.
Okay.
I nominate Amanda to chair the ad hoc election advisory committee.
Right, seconds.
And I think because you're involved in so much stuff, just, you know, you be the liaison, let the others carry that. I mean, it's funny.
We'll
what I was
definitely
doing.
delegate.
Huh?
We'll definitely delegate
Delegate,
tasks,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you will.
Well, and I think we're gonna work the outreach committee. We'll be working possibly with the elections committee in conjunction with getting the newsletter, election announcement out, so we can possibly lend some help there.
And just the fact that we have an organized membership list is like half the battle, half what the battle was that they fought last year, so.
Does anybody know how many residences there are, named residences there are in Marlboro?
I don't know how many mailers as of last census, there were what, 16,000 plus residents.
16,000?
Yeah, before we go, I feel like we talked about it, and I'm not sure there was an official vote on that,
On,
on forming the
We had
committee.
a move in a second.
Yeah.
So I,
Question, all in favor?
all in favor?
But that was Amanda to be the lead.
Yes.
Does that?
And form the committee.
Thank you, on the committee.
So the motions should say
Okay.
that and for the committee.
Okay. Form the committee and select Amanda as chair.
You want to just vote again rather than?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I move that.
I second
I
that.
second, all in favor? All right, great.
I'm abstaining
Yes.
because it's not me, I'm
Okay.
Yeah.
Four, nothing,
now you have to break a motion for us.
and abstentions. Okay, great. We had a request from our special guest last month to have a motion of support for municipal broadband PBX. I brought the flyer that they handed out last time. Is there any discussion? I generally support all public utilities and would definitely support municipal broadband.
Yeah, basically in a nutshell, what my plan is trying to do is try to get, there's a feasibility study that's going forward right now. C3, C-SPAN, I believe, forget what it's like $200,000 figuring it out. And then from there, they'll get a bond measure passed, however much money it will cost to install and put in a network for the infrastructure. It's anyone's guess right now, but that's why the feasibility study is happening. And it'll determine that. But basically, it'll give us gigabit speeds in the city for $50 a month, starting $50, and then 5 gigabits, and then up to 10 gigabits, which would put us on par with being tied for the fastest internet in the country. Talking like fast, like Seoul, Korea fast, like super crazy internet speeds. For cheap, then it'd be a public utility and everyone would own a piece of it because we paid for it. And then it's ours once the bonds pay off. So that's basically what he's trying to do. I think it's great because it makes you need to have the internet to go to like do anything, like as far as like educational wise goes, you know, most jobs, just anything in general. So total support. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And,
So I guess I missed part of this meeting. Are we talking about wiring the whole city and, you know, replacing Comcast or something?
essentially it could. Yeah, it would blow it would blow them out of the water basically. They would have to compete, and lower the prices substantially for it would be inferior to what they would be selling for the prices they're selling. And it basically opens up the door for anyone who's financially unable to pay for Comcast, let's say, because whatever, a month ago, or they'd make it more affordable. You know, they would be a utility. So, and it's totally, you know, voluntary if they want it to. But yeah, it basically makes things super accessible, cheap and affordable, and it'll bring businesses, like all kinds of opportunities, because people will be like attracted to like amazing internet speeds here. It would be the fastest city on the West Coast.
Talking fiber optic?
Yes, fiber optic.
Oh.
All right, I will make a motion to support, send a motion to support for the municipal adoption.
Awesome.
Any further discussion?
So what, I was wondering what you would include in the letter of support that you might be looking for.
I think it was just it's just adding our name. I don't
Yeah.
think we would need to draft a letter.
They would have all that. It's just saying that we support their
As an organization.
Okay. So it's not like the resolution to what we're trying to reason you would say.
Seeing no more discussion, we have a move in second. All in favor?
All right.
That's unanimous. Okay, we had a request. I'm going to try to read through this really quick and shorten it. It's who this is, and I'm reading this. We are an informal group representing neighborhood associations thus far in Eastmoreland, Brooklyn, Creston, Kenilworth, Hosford, Abernathy, Pearl, and East Columbia neighborhoods. We invite other neighborhoods to join us. And there is a supporting diesel regulations. It's a very long letter. Diesel? Yeah, diesel emissions. Sorry. So they have a long list of why, but I will just kind of get right down to the bottom. This is what they say must be done without further delay. Oregon West, 1, adopt the California diesel particulate standard. 2, inspect older, unfiltered, heavy-duty diesel trucks and buses and require them to be filtered, replaced, or taken off the road once and for all. 3, renew and expand voluntary programs to help independent truckers and school bus companies comply quickly with the Safe Oregon standard. Require industry to sharing that expense. 4, expand neighborhood monitoring of diesel pollution so that progress can be tracked and reported on a regular basis. Portland, that was state. Portland must apply its legal power to regulate land uses and sites that are sources of concentrated particulate emissions, such as rail and truck yards and large construction sites. 2, use fiscal measures to encourage industry compliance with reasonable standards. And 3, press strongly for state action on an effective clean diesel program. It says, diesel lasts for many years, voluntary programs have not worked. The cost of diesel pollution is $2 billion annually in Greater Portland and will continue, as will serious health effects for people of all ages, income levels, and backgrounds. As a Portlander who cares about your family and neighbors' health and well-being, join us in raising public awareness on this issue and holding our city and state leaders accountable.
So it sounds like at this point they're having a meeting in September and they are asking us to sign on as a sponsor, which apparently only means that we're in support of the idea. So at this point it's really vague. They're going to be reworking their position statement, but they've got a meeting on September 26th. that they're asking us to promote and eventually co-sponsor.
Yes, and it's Wednesday, September 26th, Sacred Heart Dining Hall on Southeast Milwaukee. And our state senator, Michael Dembrow, will be a panel speaking that night. I know he's been working on these issues for several years. I've listened to him speak several times on this. One of the issues to do with diesel trucks is that Washington and California have for years had higher standards than Oregon. And so all the companies in Washington and California have sold their non-conforming diesel trucks to companies in Oregon. So that not only did we have our own old and decaying diesel engines, we have now become the concentration for anything that still runs. And so Mike Dembrow, our state senator, has been looking to introduce legislation at the state level on this.
So what do they want? Again, this is, it says letters.
Promote the event and just add our
And
name
lend
to
our name.
their list.
In support. And it lists those several neighborhood associations I read on.
I think we should have someone come and speak about it too. Or we can-
Yeah, that'd be good.
Someone from their group to come speak. I mean, what they also wants to do is include people that would be able to do it in the evening.
Is it the diesel is worse than gas, or is it
It's
just
really
that the volume, the multiples are it?
It's more toxic.
There's a lot of particulates in diesel. Diesel is really unhealthy. That's what I know.
And I'm sorry, you were asking if we could have somebody come speak to
Yeah,
the issue.
someone speak on the issue.
I think we certainly can, and we could follow up with this group, informal group of neighborhood associations, and maybe work towards a more formal statement for elected officials. I would like to work towards that, and I would be happy to work with anybody else in inviting Senator Dembrow here to explain it for us. That said, I would still like to move forward with adding our name of support to this project.
So,
I'll move we support this informal group of neighborhood associations in promoting diesel standards.
Second.
Okay,
I think
discussion?
it being on the I-205 corridor and getting the second is certainly an issue. I mean, they have really clear area, like on either side of any major street for like 300 feet in either direction, there are measurable health impacts because not just diesel, but just because of being adjacent to all those vehicles. And it's definitely something I think about being children from 30 seconds. So
I've read studies that Portland has some of the worst diesel pollution in the nation, actually, which is, kind of like, what, it kind of makes you go, why? Like, it's like an environmental friendly place, but, yeah, like, it's pretty bad, and so I'm glad that they're trying to do something, so I'm in favor.
Why does it come down every time miles for clean air? So we need to do that. I mean, that's the kind of
I
thing.
remember
Exactly
looking,
what we should do.
being behind a bus, and it's pulling out, giving it all it can go to get up to, 5 miles an hour to get across the intersection. And on the back it says, 278 cars are not on the road because of this bus. I'm wondering if that's such a good thing.
Right, it doesn't matter like that. Okay, great.
I'm always paradoxical.
right.
All right. Not seeing any other discussion. All in favor? Okay. We have my draft resolution for.
Before we get into that conversation, do we
Yes.
want to have a conversation with RPCC rep? Or were you just here to kind of observe, or did you want to talk to us about relationship building?
Awesome. Yeah, I wanted to come to the general meeting, but, you know, in lieu of that, this is great. So, yeah, I hope to attend as much as I can to the meetings and participate where it makes sense. And
Make sure you sign up and we can throw you
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
mailing list so you get, so you know the future.
Yeah. So we are interested in what's going on in the community. Our college is made up of the community, and therefore, you know, and we also have a voice and relationships. So, you know, whatever we can do to help support issues and know what's going on really is to keep our finger on the pulse of our neighborhood.
Excellent. PCC is an important organization for our community.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot, of course, beyond our borders. So.
Yeah.
Great. Well, while Brad is taking a little bathroom break, I'll just hand around, does everybody have a copy of the resolution?
Yes. I read it.
There's citations at the bottom. So while I was printing this tonight, of course, my black ink goes out. So we have blue also. And did you get a copy?
I did, yeah.
So you should have one. There's some citations down the bottom. And those pages that didn't print. Yeah, we're just looking it over. I'm not sure how much background anybody would need. All of you have been here, you know, most of this year. I think most people know the situation that's kind of been happening.
Unless we were in the news last night.
I did not specifically.
Our neighborhood.
Yeah, the neighborhood association.
Yep.
Starring Evelyn.
Not the neighborhood association.
No, I think that was a different organization.
No.
Well, here,
No, they mentioned.
Let's talk about it here.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, I mean, I saw this on Facebook because Evelyn posted it because I wasn't watching the news. But so anyway, the newscaster was talking about how people are making an effort to clean up the parks, and what the whole problem is that people didn't know. Trash, needles, et cetera. And then she interviews Evelyn about the stuff. And you can see this for yourself, so I won't try to recreate the dialogue. But then, but this is in contrast or something to the resolution passed by the Montevilla Neighborhood Association, in June of 2017. And that whole thing. And then John saying the current, safety team member was not on the board at the time of the resolution, but says that the board is doing everything it can, to recognize the problem. So,
well,
if anybody has internet access, I could probably bring it up.
Great to hear that. So yeah, I think that's kind of what the recognition is, that maybe people thought that the last year's resolution was just too short and sweet, and maybe just focused more on addressing homeless sweeps as just part of the overall issue of homelessness. Whereas I have tried to be a little bit more balanced in addressing a lot of the concerns of people on the other part of the discussion. People who do feel sometimes unsafe in their neighborhood, people who are facing substantial issues with garbage, drug needles, strangers, stuff like that. That's something to recognize, and absolutely we want to. And in addressing and recognizing those issues, it's that we need more resources, and we need it here in Montevilla, and we need a long-term or a real plan to address the problem, not a short-term soundbite that just maybe deals with it for a week or two. And perpetuates the status quo of just rotating homeless people around to different communities. And just saying, I don't care what it is, I don't care where they go, I don't care what happens to them, just get them out of my community. Not realizing that every community is doing that to each other. And I hope that finally we can come to some point where we're saying, what's our share of the problem? What's our part? And then work towards those solutions. Because that's the thing that ultimately is the only thing that's going to get people to stop camping on green spaces in the middle of Montville Park. It's the only thing that's going to stop the littering when the drug dealers in Montville Park is an actual plan to address homelessness.
And who do we represent this to?
This would be to the city. But no, it's not just the city. I think it is to the city, county, and to the state legislature, because both the city and county always plead poverty when they say that they don't have enough resources to deal with the issues that they're trying to deal with. That needs to come from state resources as well.
Yeah, and they just got another $5.2 million this cycle for such things, so.
Is that what you're
Yes.
Did you want to just focus on labor or some delegation?
I didn't plan on any personalized delivery.
It's easily dismissed.
We could.
We could do it through our state representatives. To the state.
Quite possible. Amanda and I actually just sat down with our state legislators on Saturday. And they, certainly one of the biggest issues that was voted on by the people there that they wanted to hear addressed was affordable housing and homelessness. And so that is a legislative priority for our legislators. So I think definitely with Representative Kenny Geiger, we have someone who's supportive.
You are the city council member.
All of them.
Well, I mean, if we're going to try to get someone to present it for us.
Well, it's our resolution, we're not asking the city to pass it.
We could present it to the city though and ask them for their support, vote on the support.
In what context? I mean, you would just present it to city council maybe?
Yeah.
That would be more important.
And would you want to just reach out to me and commission either way?
Yeah, we could do it for them. Just give them a heads up.
The housing commissioner would be good.
Did they just change this?
Yeah, I'm not remembering. What was up there?
Send to all. Send all.
Yeah, I think the point that we're saying is we're going to present to city council and we can get any allies or give them a heads up.
Yeah, because like getting a plan of action, it's gonna take the city to be involved, like they have to be, so, yeah, it's good to have their support. That's just what it's good to have support to move forward and certain things happen. So,
And of course, start with our county commissioner. Larry Patterson, and move up to the full commissioner. From her presentation earlier in the year, I imagine she would be very supportive as well.
yes, that's true.
Is there any changes anyone would propose?
I read the couple of minor ones and some format changes. I don't know if you want to follow the standard format for a resolution, or you just want to stick with it.
I have not read it. I mean, I was just writing it. I was really focused on content. I was not focused on grammar or format. So you'll notice, as I said, I go back and forth between houselessness and homelessness. So we might want to be having consistent terminology there.
So it's a draft then?
That's a draft for voting tonight. For Washington.
I think when we shoot it to houseless, though, is because we were talking about people living in houses, right?
No, the
I mean,
terminology.
homeless, rather. People
Yes.
living in homes, and then it's awkward to then say you're living between houses. You could, but I think it's up to you.
Yeah, and again, this was kind of, I had to have this explained to me at some point, the main distinction being, a home is where the heart is kind of thing, just because a person might be living in a tent in somebody's backyard, that might be their home for the moment. And so, it's a recognition of that. But some people maybe it's just simple. I'm not really strong on it. I want it to be understood
I think
more
because
than I
it's such a
want.
broad topic,
Yeah.
that you should go with all of us.
No.
I think the houseless sounds kind of like a low terminology, and it's,
For non-single family homeowners.
well, I think it's just not broad enough. It's sort of like we want to address this issue, and this issue has a name, and it's homelessness. Even if that isn't the most accurate.
Because it could be misinterpreted, you don't have a house with you better is that what you
No.
better place it somewhere.
Yeah, that.
I mean, home is more inclusive, but I mean, houses is the term that many people prefer, because they don't necessarily, people don't have a home, in some sense, but that's probably.
I think homelessness is the main thing that
Yeah, let's not mince words here.
yeah. I mean, there's the whole PR standpoint, but there's the extra standpoint to it. So, but, I think it's kind of generally,
You could have somebody
I
who's
would welcome.
if you need help with this, I will.
Well, I would welcome any formatting changes, and I don't think any formatting changes would affect or prevent us from voting on it.
I don't think so. I don't think any of the changes I have written down here would. I think there's certain standard ways of doing this, like it's like one long sentence for the whereases, because
Yeah, you gotta do those semicolons, man.
Yeah, I gotta do the used to teach writing and stuff.
Thank you, that's what I needed some suggestion on.
But also, and then,
But
I mean, in terms of what you're asking for, to give the numbers, you've got 3 basic items, so it just makes them stand out a little bit more. So, I mean, usually you say you demand something. You say this requires, but it's a little more forceful to say that you demand.
Okay.
So you can use the demand for each of those 3
Yeah,
things that you're asking.
I'm just such a not pushy person. It's hard for me to put
Resolution-
demand, but.
But resolutions are very strongly really popular.
Great, so
Try to
changing,
get something done.
so changing each one, each bullet point after therefore to demand.
And I can give you what I did. There are a couple of dramatic things. Let's see, the 4th whereas, 4th line down, repeated messages that are. I can't, there's one word in there.
You're saying their word?
Hard. So there aren't far too few.
Got it.
And I will change the replace and demand number 1. I give you a couple of. It's just, you can just.
Okay, and you're saying right here. So we just have the demands.
And then the whereases.
Or you could put the demand for column.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
I like always touching on the deadline, just repeat it over and over, it's good,
I don't like that.
I do.
I'm not gonna
Okay, so-
vote for a document.
I know.
What's the preferences? We have demands or?
I'll go with the over.
Okay, so we're adding demands at the top for all.
Yes.
Yeah.
you don't say things.
As is this resolution to amend that.
I remember once there was a resolution or a thing that we all voted on to legalize weed, but it was like written really poorly and it totally failed. And I feel like it failed because the Oregonians were like, this is written so poorly. It was very vague.
Okay.
And we have a new ordinance, right?
Not yet. It is simply just a sitting
I guess
agenda
this-
item.
I think when we get to that point, I'll probably abstain. I don't want to be the naysayer. I think it's just kind of wishful thinking. It's sort of like, it's just like thinking that sweeps is going to solve the problem, when it's not going to solve the problem. This is saying the agencies, put their heads together and put enough money into it, then the problem will go away. And I don't think it's that simple. I mean, we could provide houses for everybody. I mean, just build them, Sure. Build, if you build the houses, they will come, but it's still not gonna,
Well, I think since last year, not only that resolution, the sweep resolution, was controversial, but then there was procedural things that caused it to fail, or be withdrawn, or be grieved, and ungrieved. And so I think people have wanted to be seen that this issue is being discussed, and I've certainly tried to do all year, tell people that we are going to discuss it, and then we pushed the forum for several months, and Olive did an incredible job on that. And so I think this is kind of the culmination of this year's work on this issue. Not thinking that this is going to be taken and be written, as like a guideline for political people to issue law on it. It's just another crack, hopefully, towards some solution. And there will probably need to be another resolution next year. Because the way I see things, I don't see them getting any better. So,
well, for instance, I like the first, therefore, demand our state cabinet to convene to draft a plan to end all houses. Coming up with a plan, that's something that's doable, even if ending all houselessness isn't necessarily feasible.
It gives you a scope of what it would take.
It gives you a scope, right.
Yeah.
This requires, which we're going to change, I guess, to redemand, creating enough shelters and alternative housing options to place, and so on and so on. Well, you start building enough shelters, then more people are going to come thinking Portland is a great place to, hang out if you're homeless. So, I'm just trying to put the most straight.
That's
What?
absolutely true, though.
You don't think that's true?
No.
People coming, flocking to the resources? I think that's been discussed as being one of the contributing factors to.
Not necessarily been discussed by the people who work with members, though. I'm not sure that that's a lot of.
well, I know specifically, I was at Grinding and Axe one time about Portland being the place for Oregon, and that the rest of Oregon wasn't paying its fair share for just the residents of Oregon who were moving to the Portland area, maybe to be enticed by the services. And our state legislators said the data that they look at doesn't even show that most people are coming from outside of Portland metro area.
Right.
I think what we've seen or what we've heard in the data is that most of this is just is local displacement.
Right. And city boundaries aren't as important. They're kind of intangible because you're generally a resident of the Portland metropolitan area. You might have grown up in Milwaukee or Clackamas or something, or even but Portland is the center of this metropolis, which, by the way, is the story of how Rome went from being or in the evolution of Rome going from being a republic to a empire, was the draw of people coming from urban areas into the city for the free resources. Partly because there weren't enough resources, generally. So population moved into the city, and because there was promises of free stuff, and then Rome had to expand in order to provide those resources.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not always the case. You also have, like Peter said, coin where you have resource-resistant individuals who just will not take part in anything like that. And that's a whole other discussion. But there's multiple aspects to it. It's not just a whole blanket.
Right. Yeah, resource resistant thing applies to certain individuals, and they may be there no matter what. But anyway, that's my
Yeah, I can certainly hear that, although that logic leads one down the road to, well, if you do something, it makes it worse, so you should do nothing. It doesn't seem like a viable policy option for us.
Yeah, like mine is.
And part of this, and why I feel so strongly, is that I refuse to accept that this is the best it's going to get. I refuse that this is going to be how my 30s are spent growing up in a Portland. I refuse that this is what I'm going to give my son, who's soon going to turn 10.
And there are other places where they have done something.
Correct. Even if it didn't solve the problem.
Yeah, we're not going to solve the problem tonight, but it's good to get some motion going, some energy going in that direction. So that's what this is for, especially after all of the meetings and the forum and everything that's kind of built momentum towards that. Like I said, it's the culmination of that, and it's good to recognize and acknowledge efforts and demands as we have over time. But yeah, something out of it, and that's what this is.
Well, I'd certainly be interested in how this is going, where this can go. So.
And this certainly isn't an idol.
And if I come up with a better set,
I think that the third demand is really important. You don't want people moving out of their current homes to fall into the homeless.
I think that's that's one area that people can do something about.
Well, it's a direction to our state legislators that they have an active role in this, and that they need to continue to look at.
Well, that's through legislation. But it could also be part of the plan, right? The first demand, the comprehensive plan.
It can, but it also could be.
Well, I thought it was different. The plan is to address homelessness, keeping Portland affordable, and stopping new displacement, I think, is a separate, related issue. So that's why I wanted to call it emergency plan.
But in the demand framework, we should rewrite it more forcefully as our legislators must prioritize legislation that prevents displacement.
Okay, so we demand our legislators.
I say demand the following, colon, and then.
Right. Our legislators continue efforts to ensure people.
Our legislators prioritize keeping displacement.
So I just changed it. We have the demand up here, which is our legislators prioritize efforts to ensure people in our homes are not displaced in homelessness. Right.
like number one.
And it's certainly linked to the plan because we can't just deal with homelessness if we're just going to introduce one. Well, as the draftee, I would enjoy someone else making a motion to pass the resolution.
I move that we accept the resolution on the issue of houselessness. As amended.
Any further discussion?
And this is a draft right now. When you.
No, this is, with our discussion here, is now finalized.
Oh, you have something that clear.
Yeah.
All right.
So you've made it only everything by personal part.
Yes.
I gave it mine.
Maybe we can have a merge, you know.
And these are just grammatical stuff. And the amendments, the words we've amended are amended. Okay? All in favor of the resolution? Aye. All right. 4-0, one abstention. Thank you, everybody. All right. Budget for fall cleanup. Do you need any budget requests? Yes?
Well, I thought I was doing my responsibility by calling David and leaving messages for him to call me. And we already made a budget last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? I'm sorry, I've just been, sorry.
I left, one of the messages I left is that, well, we have a budget of $200, but I have no doubt that, you know, anything that you spend that's in the realm of taking care of this project, you know, will be reimbursed.
And I came back from vacation to a great summary email from David.
And then you wrote out a summary, and I guess I hadn't logged into one of those PDX recently because it had been down.
So I guess the upshot is, it sounds like you guys have made progress. You've got a hauler who just needs kind of a pickup time. I mean, you've got drop-off times. We just
Well, at
he's
first-
kind of ready to launch.
Yeah, at first I thought, well, we needed to have, you know, a day before, you know, it had to be a weekday. And so I called them and got the okay to have it done on a weekday. And then David said, you know, well, you know, can't we have it dropped off on the same day? Well, of course we can. So I called him, you know, is there any reason why you can't have it dropped off on Saturday? So they're open either way, and I hope David has got that, you know, information and running with it. I guess the only question was, I thought they said it would be okay to keep it over, if it was bad to keep it over till Monday or something to get it picked up. But my feeling is, you know, let's get it over and done with. Now we can clean up the site and we're done.
Sunday is the day they need their lot.
Yeah. It's a big lot. I'm not sure it's filled up with some.
Well, we also have September's meeting if we find that we need more money up front.
Right.
If you guys approved something last month.
And I'm still hoping to get with you and do, see what we can apply for Southeast Africa for movers.
I have
They've
something
been
I want to,
working.
remember we were going to meet?
Great. I was also talking about throughout this year, anything that we could have put on the communications budget.
Yeah.
Here's everything we spent until 6:30, I wanted to go over with you. And basically, that thing that we sent to the lawyer, and she passed on to Ben, well, she was asking if we had a kind of a detailed summary, like, if you ever done a Schedule C or something. You break out your expenses, advertising, or, whatever it is. And some of these things are self-explanatory, so.
Well, that would be useful in terms of trying to establish the budget, yearly budget.
Sure.
Have some guidelines.
Yeah.
For things to do.
So, I think we were planning on getting together and we can,
So I picture now here, July is the previous board. Then we have the election.
Thanks so much for having me. See you guys.
We'll send you the email.
A lot of this is election costs, which is Franklin Foundation. Oh wait,
That was when they asked.
yeah, I mean, anything that was straightforward, I put in there. Supplies. What else would it be?
okay. There's nothing that doesn't look right to me on that.
Okay. I was thinking maybe,
No, and can you please send it to me?
well, here, that's yours. I have a copy of it. And,
This is great, yeah, and then we can categorize this for the categories.
that's basically dovetails with the report. So you got a copy of that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you forwarded that, to Margaret.
What time period does this cover?
This covers back from July of last year through June, the end of June of this year.
Fiscal year.
So, but it's not really, typically really, but unless you break out legal expenses and sort of thing.
I think so.
Well, that's just a pro forma to assemble, an actual summary. Like, okay, so our expenses, we have this much of supplies, this much of legal fees, election costs.
But what I'm interested in terms of establishing budget, typically
Right.
costs, expenses.
Right.
And we've only got really one year to go on here. I don't know what's happened in the past because we started doing it before any treasurer's reports.
We do have records.
Accounting.
It's just somebody taking the time to go through. I did spend some money on National Night Out. I do have a receipt here. I spent probably around $100, but I wouldn't ask for that. I wanted to ask for just hot dogs, buns, and I put a bunch. We went to Costco. We bought a big thing of napkins and a big thing of like 500 paper plates. Barely any of those got used, so those are now sitting in the storage here at the church. So I was only going to ask for reimbursement for the 2 things of hot dogs, the buns, and those plates and napkins for $50.
Yeah, that's up to
And I
$50.
don't have the receipt.
I don't know.
My receipt is in here.
Dry
I
ice
spent
or stuff.
Well, I wasn't gonna.
$4.49 on ice.
And if somebody else like Amanda wanted something for National Night Out, I'm going to reduce mine.
Do we have a budget for it?
No, I just did.
Oh, you didn't have a budget?
We approved it in June.
Did we?
I can't keep track. We confirmed, yeah, because I was here and I was like, I can't help with it, but I think we should do it.
Great.
And we took it on.
I don't recall allocating any funds for that.
Don't recall.
What's that? Oh, I think so.
Well, is somebody putting the minutes up on the website now?
We don't really have access to the website, it's super
The
weird.
website was back up after the issue we talked about. I think something's come up just in the last day.
Well, I sent you an email.
Just in the last day.
I got an error a few days ago when I checked it in today. See if thinking about the meeting, it said error message.
When you got that error message, I checked it and it came up.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
So that does seem weird. I just found it, I just realized it tonight, so I have to look into it. I think we gotta dump whoever we're using, go with a much simpler website like this. Because even when it was functioning fully, it was difficult to update. It's not just easy to throw that in and update it in there. So I really think going forward, maybe we should use a much more usable website.
Maybe we talk about it.
Stephen only was going to Levels of That, he's been working on other things. Robin also volunteered as going to circle back with her. It's not challenging to put up a WordPress site that's basic and has a really easy way to access it and make changes. It's just a matter of getting it done. David was having issues just getting into the system and had been working with Briar Rose. And I haven't really heard back on where that went, but I mean, that's not, like, honestly, like, connecting with Briar Rose was a huge challenge and delay, and we're just trying to get the right, like, login info and the back end stuff, and I don't understand any of that, so.
But that was resolved. This must be something.
Well, your thing was resolved, I don't
Yes.
know if we ever got it.
Well, we
Let's
did.
say I
We
wanted
did-
to
we
look
did
at
get back in.
June's
We switched over to
minutes.
my name.
Where would I go?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If I wanted to look at June's minutes, where would I go?
You
I think
can't,
it's
we
upon
don't have
request.
them. We don't have a website. We haven't had a website since Briar Rose left, to be fair, because
But-
no one ever had access to change it except for David.
Yeah, so I'm taking on making sure that we have all the meeting documents.
Okay.
I am working with Jonathan to try to get his electronic copies, but if I have to scan the ones from my files, I will do that, I guess. So basically right now, and this is for the camera, they're all upon request. If you want any of our meeting minutes, they have been done, they've been voted on. You can email me the request for them. They do exist. Some people like to make, some people like to make some particular issues.
Clarify.
Yeah, okay, good.
But
Great.
yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to shepherd that through and it just hasn't been moving this summer.
I can resources in there. Present something that might be suitable alternative that is doable and will happen. So if we don't hear back from anyone, that's like because it's kind of a very needed thing to have a little bit of
All right, great. So can I move for the reimbursement of $50? Second.
Man, I realized after that picnic, that it probably wasn't cool to, ask a kid, like one of the kids to go give that homeless lady some water, I mean, I knew she was okay, but,
I have a very shy son who doesn't even like talking. And it takes a long time for him to warm up with
Yeah,
him, so.
but I thought, well, maybe that's a little, so, I'm happy that, go.
All right, all in favor of reimbursing $50 for the National Night? Unanimous. Thank you.
We're still thinking about it.
I have a similar request for National Night Out. I bought dry ice and popsicles, and popsicles were fun, but the dry ice was it was $16 because we didn't have any smaller, so I spent total, and I printed those little cards over there with some upcoming events and reminding folks that need to show up in order to be eligible to vote. So I spent like almost $65. I'll just ask for 40 back, just because I probably went above and beyond. But it almost all got eaten. So I always overbuy in terms of food.
So they're all the movement right out expenses?
Yeah, popsicles, grapes, watermelon, and flyers.
I move to be reimbursed.
Those are the figures afterwards.
Movement right out.
So they were in my packet.
A second.
Great. Any no more discussion, and how much do you say?
I'll take 40.
Okay. All right, we got a move by Brad, I believe, and a second by Pat. Any other discussion? Not seeing any, all in favor? Okay, are there any other issues before us tonight? No new business. All right, I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Enthusiastically.
All in favor?